Happy Thursday, brother. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, sister?
Hey, I'm here. I woke up and I get to hang out in the Rose Garden. It's a wonderful day. Happy Thursday, everybody. Today is June the 11th, 2026, and I'm in this wonderful Rose Garden with my brother, honoring our grandmother and also giving time for our own self care. I have missed you, brother. I have been traveling with this new job. I don't even know what day of the week it is. That's why I had to say Thursday, June 11th. This is crazy.
Hey, well, happy what they say, Friday Eve, happy 6/12 Eve, whatever.
Almost.
Just will fall
Oh,
on a Friday this year, huh?
it does. It
Mm,
does. Well, happy Friday Eve to you. I have missed you. Look, you look okay. You look like you're all
mhm,
in one part, but you have
mhm.
some atonement to the group chat. I want you to know the group chat has been talking about the bald headed brother. And I'm trying to get you out of that spot, but you keep staying in it. And the group chat was excited that you had a guest on last week who I heard did a fantastic job and repped 612 and also brought about a discussion about family and children and life. But the group chat said that you were very, very gentle to him. And as expected, the group chat decided that the reason why you were very gentle with this guest is because he's male. What do you got to say for yourself, brother? You was the
Oh,
male guest.
I don't agree with that at all. You know what I mean? I like the community chime in and see, but I don't agree with that at all. I think it was a good vibe.
I think the community
We
will be
touched
able.
on everything.
You think so? You think so? The group chat has said that brother treats the female guest much harder, and there was a word that they brought up, which is accountability.
Hmm.
And that did you hold your fellow brethren accountable in that call? It seemed like there was a lot of agreement and alignment in that.
Well,
In that.
what was it? What was to be held accountable for? Because we were talking about the relationship between parent and child. So there
Hmm.
wasn't really much to be accountable for in that, other than the fact that as parents, we were flawed. I think we were in full agreement on all aspects of that. We do the best we can. We don't get training to be a parent. And
Hmm.
even if we did, I mean, I guess like the training that we get is the fact that we were children and we
Hmm.
were raised by some form of parent, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's and as much as we get trained, that's to the extent of it. But who knows what the correct training is? And even if you did do everything perfect, because we flawed individuals or whatever, in some kind of a way, we're going to injure our children and mess our children up and have to deal with those things and whatever. So
Uh,
I think we was in full alignment, but it wasn't nothing to be
so
holding nobody exceptionally accountable for. See, I think people like the fact that men are accountable by nature,
this is
and
where you
and women have a interesting relationship with accountability, which is they don't want to be held accountable.
this is the problem.
That's why it jumps out. That's why it jumps out
This is
at
where the group chat's gonna start popping here, right?
me.
Is that
Mhm.
you have in these conversations where they observationally have observed you
Mhm.
guest is that there's so much alignment because you have that bias naturally. But one of the
Mhm.
points that could have been talked about is, when you become a parent, right? There are
Mhm.
lots of decisions that are made before then, including the selection of partner, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it would have been nice to explore on that conversation with your male brother and about how did you select your partner?
Well, see, the funny thing is that we do touch on it, but I think like like I said, the the uninitiated ear do- doesn't hear it because I said, the very first thing is, whenever a relationship fails or anything's going wrong, you always got to blame the man because the man chose that woman. You know, you chose that thing, right? And
Well,
then so the first problem is the
you don't
choice
have to
choice
blame.
that you have.
I don't
you
want
know,
you to go into the blame or shame of it from an
no,
accountability.
that's accountable. That's being responsible and accountable. It's not pointing the finger of blame. What I'm saying is that the first problem is, like you said, the choice, and women always like to pick that up. Like, why did you know? Well, look what you choosing. Look what you choosing.
Yes,
So
women
yeah,
do.
okay.
Oh,
so look, all right, look what we're choosing though. But let's see, let's dive into that.
let's dive
You
into
know,
it.
we choosing what I would call human beings that put on a costume. You know what I'm saying?
There
So
we go.
look, it's the truth. Here it
Okay,
is.
so
Here it is. We
are
go
you
like
saying you're
I might go into a church and I say, that's a good looking girl. She got like a whole white outfit on. The color white indicate purity. And look how helpful she is over here. And she might be putting on a costume in the sense of her outer appearance and a costume in the sense of her behavior.
so,
So
sir. So,
I
sir, are you saying that you
so
do
we
not
get
have
deceived.
wait,
We
sir,
get
are you saying
deceived.
you do not have the gift of discernment? So, are you saying that you have little ability to discern
No, I'm saying
what
I
okay,
had little ability to discern, but
you
I've
had?
grown now and I got wisdom now. But in the
So,
past,
okay,
in the
well,
beginning,
tell us what was the flaw in the past. What were you missing?
well, first off, I was relying too much on the very first thing is this mindset is always right. Everything is in the mind. The first problem I had was that I was raised under this female consciousness that women are better than men. Y'all are sugar and spice and everything nice, and I believe that about girls. Like why would you want to do anything bad, or why would you? I was like, we the condemned ones. So that was the first problem. That was the first problem.
Let's go back. So you telling me that as a child,
Hmm.
males are conditioned, so to speak, to believe that by their very nature, women are better than them. Is that what you're telling me? And
Yeah,
if
we don't.
that's
We always thought that the women were the good ones and we were the bad ones. That's what we
where do
thought.
you think those? Because this is interesting because the group chat's listening, so you know you're speaking to the group chat.
That's why I said I told you the first thing is like the last, well, not the generations after us. So I'm talking about the generations. We were definitely raised by women. So
Okay.
the whole generation was raised under a female consciousness. And the females weren't fair. They weren't like, let me give you the male side and the female. They gave you the whole female bent
So are you
side, which
the
is
ones
which
that
is
had the absent fathers or where there was no partnership and
no, just the whole generation, all the incomplete generation, females and males. We all thought this way, and you see it in certain types of things. Like let's just say right now, if something happens, right? I was thinking of the other day, like when you have an interaction with somebody and the understanding that the person has. Like, all right, I'll talk about this scenario. Like, let's say I got two kids by
mm,
two different women, right?
right.
All right,
Accountability. Stay
right.
accountable.
N- But
There you
let's just say but I had my kids. I was like my kids were living with me.
yes.
If I meet a new woman, the first thing they'd be like, "How'd you end up with the kids? Why they didn't end up with the mother? What did you do to take the kids away from the mom?" That's
That's
what the woman said.
is
So
that has that
every single person reacted like that because they thought like, oh, that's strange. How did the man get the kids
well, can
or
I say
whatever?
something? That
Yeah, yeah.
really again speaks to who you're bringing into your life because that would not be my first question. My first question would really be like, oh, did the mother die? Or were you guys
But see,
married?
but see, but see, but see, but the problem in this, which is I'm telling you, because even in your line of questioning, it still is aligned with their thinking, which is how did you get it? Now, when
No, no,
you
no. That's
when a man meets a woman and she's a single mom and she got a kid, we don't be thinking like, well, how you get them kids from dad?
well,
No
I want to
one does that. You know why? Because it's the understanding is the default understanding is the woman going to get the kids, and everybody knows this,
that
right?
may have
So
been that may have been what we've seen, but let me just say
yeah,
this. It's not
hmm
necessarily like what I'm trying to say is it's not the question often does not come in my mind where like why does he have the kids? It's more what role or relationship does the baby mamas in this situation have? because what you're holding yourself accountable for here is your decision making. So don't go too far down
No,
the street. And
what
your
I'm talking
decision
about is what I'm
and what
talking
you
about
look
is
from a
that's
virtuous
what it is.
and what you look like from a virtuous and availability perspective, which is the real question is like, oh, why he got two baby mamas, right? Is
No,
don't you think
no,
that's
no, no. I think truth be told, they could care less about the fact I got two baby mamas.
I need a
But they
button.
what
Producer,
what
I
they
need a button, and we need to no. I need a loud no. That
no,
is not
you
the
know
part.
what I think? I think what they the reason why they asking the question is because they want to know. Because every woman's they want to they want to see if you know, they see themselves in the position and they want to know, what did you do to the mom
That's
that
not
you got the
first. We go see
kid?
why he
How
got
did
two
you?
baby mamas. That's the first thought. So be accountable
Nah,
for why you got
I
two
don't think
baby
that.
mamas. Look at you. Look at the group chat is already sending messages. My list is going up because they want to know why you can't be accountable for the two baby mamas.
Well, I am, but how am I not being accountable? I
Because
ain't
you
hiding
didn't
it.
touch on how you made those decisions. You want to focus on the end, which is I have my children in the end. I raised my kids.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you. I'm telling. See, y'all try to twist everything. See, like this is a perfect conversation that men and women have. Just to show you, we talk. We was talking. We was down one corridor. Now we on another hallway. You know what I mean? I was saying the impression that's given, and this impression and the reason, and I'm using this example to show how surprised the person is off the fact that the man has his kids, right? Because again, I was just illustrating the fact that this collective community consciousness that's been overlaid on us is feminine, and it's feminine bent. You know what I mean? It's bent to the female side.
Okay, could that
So
also not just be the patriarchy, which had established the fact
no,
that women stayed home?
no.
Don't interrupt it. Don't interrupt the thought that women stayed home, and for the most part, their responsibility from a traditional perspective was to care for children. So that was something that men drove home. It wasn't something that women drove home. It was something that men drove home. I want my wife at home, washing and cleaning.
You
So
say that men did that,
men
or
drove that
was that the
idea home.
family? I disagree. I think in
You
traditional,
disagree because that is not
yes,
what you want to see in your reality.
no, because I've been talking to the older generation,
Okay, so
the ones
who's
before our parents, like
who's
our
older?
parents and our parents and above.
Okay, look
I
at
was
your
talking about them.
our grandmother was a homemaker for all intents and purposes. She did not work outside the home. That was by design because the partners that she married wanted her to home make.
She did work outside the home for Mothers Against Drunk Driving and the
Those
Animal
were
Welfare League and all that stuff. And she,
volunteer roles. Those did
yeah,
not
but that was
earn any money.
whether it was a volunteer, it was
And
she.
the men in her life had expectancies. That woman got up at early in
She
the
did
morning.
that on her own.
She did not
Nobody
do
was
that.
it.
There was an
Nobody.
expectancy.
All
There was
right,
an
so look,
expectancy.
you
Ask
just said
any woman,
you just
be popping. You need the group. All these. Ask any woman who's ever stayed.
no.
She
See
just
that
stayed at home and not cook and not do anything and had a kids running around.
I'm glad you brought grandma up as an example.
Yes,
I'm
she's such
glad you
a.
brought that. You know
She's,
why? Because she was the ambassador of the household. Now I'm gonna tell you something. That there's no one needed to tell her the role she was bringing to the table. So before we even got there, under her care and direction, she was fulfilling the role that she had to do. And in truth, yeah, she ain't have to worry about money because that man of that house knew his role without it being told. She didn't have to tell him, you need to go to work, you need to make money. And all of the arguments that we heard of them, it never was gender role arguments, was
no,
it?
it wasn't. It
Okay.
wasn't.
So both of them knew, and the point I'm trying to make is that before our generation, the older males and females that I talked to is they said that there was a harmonious unity between them where everyone knew what they were supposed to do. Y'all, your generation broke that. Y'all broke that. You know why? Because y'all look at those women and say, they ain't weak. they would just stay at home, and those they had to put up with the man and all this stuff, and he was doing this stuff, and y'all broke it because y'all didn't see the strength and beauty in the fact of having this unity between
Listen, Mr.
that
Misogynist,
covenant,
there are lots of environmental and cultural things that changed that reality.
which was the number one thing is feminism. That changed that reality, which women selectively choose
That's
the
I don't
things
think
that
I don't,
selectively choose the things that they want to be equal with.
well, I would say this. If we go with your argument, because I love you, bald headed brother, and I don't want you to get in any more like I want you to believe the group chat one day and be well, I mean, they already about to come for your neck on one thing I think we can have some agreement on. We can
Mhm.
say that society dictates a lot of how we live out things. What are the rules?
Indeed, it impacts it. Yeah, it
So
influences and
in the
impacts it. Mhm.
generation that you're describing, there are a lot of different societal rules and things that were going on that impacted and shaped women who were now mothers who were largely staying home, having to be forced into the workforce with limited opportunity because up until the 60s, there were women couldn't necessarily even get bank accounts on their own. So being tethered to their spouse was a very important thing. And following their man's rules was a very important thing. So you say feminism changed all that. I think feminism did create some equality that I think bald headed brother may have some problems with,
So I
right?
think that I think I'm a just to speak
Accountable,
frankly on it. Speak
accountable,
frankly on it is
be
a
accountable.
selective
Be accountable.
selective. Well, what you said has some validity, right? Because I do think
Thank
that
you. Look, the group
societies
chat will appreciate that. Can I get some hand clapping? I mean, he's over here being. Yeah.
what I would say is this, that 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 even though
Look,
society, because
stuttering. So good. But I mean,
I think that those people before us, the generations before us, was dealing with more societal hardships than we were. True statement.
give me more.
Like that. So basically, we have more civil liberties now than they did at that time.
They were
True
fighting
statement,
for
right? Right?
it.
Yeah.
True. I'll
So
give you that.
yeah. So the fact that they had less civil liberties and they were more of a family unit than we are now.
They required it to be.
True state. No, not required, because there was times before that when if we going to just speak frank in this country, right? If we
Hmm.
talk about like slavery and we just talk about just the melanated population,
Hmm.
there wasn't no sense of family during slavery because a man and woman could be on a plantation and they could make a baby and they could take the baby away and sell it to a whole nother plantation and some property. They could sell the man off, sell the woman off. So there wasn't no real sense of no family there. True statement.
I will
So
go
I,
with the fact that because I think they created within those structures some semblance of
well,
family, and
so
that was a
you try to do the best what you can do inside it, just like a dude to do in prison. You know what I'm saying? You build a family in prison, but it ain't no it's no permanency or certainty in there, right?
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, through that condition,
Hmm.
these people still held firm to a tradition of building a family unit and surviving, trying to set up a system of survival,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
For and this thing was for the better benefit of the entire community,
Hmm.
right? So
Okay.
then so then what happened is, as civil liberties were being gained, so just go back to what you said, like, there was a time when women ain't had the right to vote and they couldn't open up bank accounts on their own and all that stuff. And then because men also agreed to the fact that women should be able to do this stuff, not all men, but some, right? Then women, was getting granted their God-given, you know, rights, right? So let's say once the woman did that, what they do with that power that was newly gained to them. The
When
same thing
you
that the women did, the
say
same thing that they did in the Garden of Eden. Right. The moment the woman's here let loose to have the power to choose, the very first choice she does is the thing that God tells them. The only thing you cannot do is just eat from this. That's the first thing she does with her power. So I look at this thing and I say, now here it is. Women got, she can open a bank account. And instead of her thinking, well, I'm going to open this bank account and I'm going to do these volunteer work and do all this stuff and I'm going to make some money pile up for me and my family. She think, I'm going to go leave this family and break this family all apart. Because now I don't need the man because society done made it to where I can make more money without him.
Do you
And
think
all that
that's what
stuff.
the conversation really is amongst your female people?
I think that
Saying,
I
don't
think that a human being, you know that they say there's a thing called The Making of a Slave, a book by Willie Lynch.
Yes, I heard
So
that.
Willie Lynch talks about all this stuff of psychological conditioning, right?
Yes.
So it goes without saying, you know, like right now they say, you know, and just to say this, right? In the you know, Caucasian world, these rules still apply. Like most of the time, men make more than women.
Mm-hmm.
In their world, it's very important that that's so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because psychologically, in the household where the person who make the most is really the one in charge. You know what I mean? That's the truth, right?
Okay.
Because right now, if I'm in the house with the woman and I want to make a
No
decision,
idea what
listen, I'm
going
trying to say,
on.
if I'm in the house and a woman and we
You
both
lose it.
got a job, right? We both got
Yes.
a job and she make more than me, right? So
Mhm.
basically, I can't survive without her. You know what I mean? Meaning, like if she lose her job, we out. We gonna be on the street then, right? We got to get to a lesser place. So
Can
then
I say something? These level of competition is really, again, it's like it has
you
a
tell me why y'all women have it, because this is what I'm trying to say. The psychological thing. This is what happens inside of this, right? Where men don't do this to y'all, but this is what y'all do to
so
us.
you don't think a man who makes less than a woman
Hmm.
is frustrated with himself, perhaps, and demonstrates any
He's
behavioral change?
Why is he frustrated with himself though? Because the punishment, the torture that the woman puts on him, and demasculating him. Like say
You
for
know, I
instance,
feel sorry for you that you have experienced this level of
no, I'm telling you.
treachery
I'm
in your
speaking for my.
again,
I
this
haven't
this
experienced this.
your
I'm
selection.
speaking for my brethren. So let
Your
me say this.
all of
So
them
let me
are
say.
it would have been
So
great. You had your brethren on last week to talk about selection and
so
how
so
you
let me
choose
let me
women.
tell you this. What
There
if
are
a woman make
women
more than a man and she says this to, so let's just say this scenario. So the man, they living together, she make more than him.
Mhm.
She in control of the bank, right? Because we all know whoever the cash is king, right? So whoever
Mhm.
got the bank, so she will control the bank. And most of the time, even when the man make the most money, the man is letting her, manage their bank account and stuff like
So
this.
so
But
you're giving it over. So in that scenario, it
mhm.
doesn't matter
Well,
who's
it does. Well, it should none of this not as a team, none of this should matter anyway. If you like
correct.
right now,
You're picking non-team players. So if you had a starting five, they would look more like the Spurs than the Knicks did last night.
well,
That's who you pick. You are a bad coach. You are
hey,
a
look,
bad coach.
let me
You
tell you
need
something. Yes,
accountability
true.
for your
I give you that point. Like, we gotta pick a better squad, right? But
pick up that.
let's just say though, you find yourself in that position. Psychologically though, and this happens to all right, let's take you tell I'm gonna give you a real life scenario.
What do you mean?
Our older sister, right?
Nope.
She
Don't
she
touch her. Touch
she got
somebody
she
that's
she
going through
got she got
some
she got the
kind of
perception.
DSM
I got a
diagnosis.
question for you. I got a question for you.
No, no,
She got the perception of being a
no,
independent, strong woman, doesn't she?
no, no,
But
no,
if she had a dude that was getting it
no.
more than
Big
her,
else. Big
do you
Oprah.
think what about yo?
Oprah.
Oh, all right.
You
Whatever
can
it is. But all of look, I'm talking about the mentality. Even if you take the person out, I talk about the mentality.
no.
So
Not on our
you want to
show.
make her Oprah? Okay, better be Oprah.
Big
But bottom line is this: if the woman is making more than the man, she is demasculating that man in decision making capabilities.
Okay, look at Oprah and
She's
Stedman.
undermining.
Look
Listen,
at
listen.
Oprah and
See,
Stedman.
I seen Oprah and stuff, man. There was a time that she had Stedman out in the not even in the main house. She had him out the outside house, the outhouse or whatever you would call it. Because something that happened. I don't know,
But
he
he
was
probably
sick or
did
something or
something
whatever.
to it.
And he allowed that to happen. Now, if that man was making more money than her, that would never occur. It would never occur. So y'all do stuff like that to the man. You
Well,
know, you
I think when we
and the
this is
man don't do that to y'all in
men
reverse.
do men cut.
The man
Listen,
don't do
I
that.
have seen men. You know that in the custody work that I did. This is the thing I can tell you. Checking off every box. If you work in custody work, the first thing the man does, the first, not the second, not the third, is take the money out of the bank so they make that
That's a
person
smart
rob.
move. You know why you take the money? Hey, that's like you gotta get it before you get robbed. The reason the reason why the women is saying that is because they went to the bank to get it and it was gone.
No,
Because
went
the
to buy
man was smart.
pills.
The
They went
man
to buy
was the
gas
man.
in their
No,
car. And
no, the
all
man was smart enough to know I gotta get this money about it here because if I don't get this money gone now, then all this gonna be gone. So the man, that's a smart move a man does on their
no, so
part.
it's
That's
important.
wise. Because
This is
the
when you have male producers, okay? It's
well,
not good.
and you know,
How you have said that women will create robbery when they no, a woman wants to separate from a
child
marriage.
support ain't robbery.
Child support is child
Child su-
support.
Spousal
You
support ain't
you
robbery.
child support is child support, and what
No,
you do
child
is
support ain't child support. Child
you know
support is
what
mommy support.
the metric is set up for this child to have the same standard of living as if the other parent, regardless of what the parent lived in the household.
But
So
they don't do you and I both know.
we
Come on
had
now.
a neighbor
You
who
you've been
remember
doing
our
this custody stuff work for a while. Be real. Be real on this. Child support ain't a support for the child financially. If it was, this is what I would go for. This is what I would support for child support.
okay, you want to change.
Create a bank account for the child. Let the money come from dad to the child's bank account. Let the child have a bank card and let
A
the child
child.
decide what he need his let the child have it. So
You know
but
how
you know what
that is because a child eats peas, grows every day. So the light bill that the child is using while you think about this, I can tell you this is a certifiable fact. When now that I'm an empty nester, my light bill is even lower. Why? Because the kids have their PlayStation on, this and that. So those kids have to live. You had them with that person. So to say that child support does not support the children. Now, I
we
do
know
think
that. We all know it
I do
don't.
think that
Come on
there's
now, let's be real now.
I do think
We
there
all know.
I do think some women anchor themselves to a partner who has a lot of money and then creates this unusual exacerbated ask. I will
So
give you
they get the bag off of child support and
they do
alimony.
some women, but
Yeah,
for the
most
most
women.
part, what people
Most.
are paying, what the average Joe is paying, is also paying to support those, and it's not enough. Kids eat like they have tapeworm. They pee and poop and get sick. They have medical bills, like they have, so it's not enough to say, well, I paid your mom child support, get it from that. So the formula is not enough. And I'm not saying I'm in that situation, but I certainly celebrate women who ask for what they deserve.
I'm sure you do because you're a
And I
woman.
see it in
But
the
I, but if
I
but if
see
a
no, no,
woman but
no,
if
no,
you was a
here.
if you was a man and you had to break off. All right,
I've
all
seen
right,
women have to
so
break off people too. I've seen
and
women.
and boy, them women are bitter. They bitter. Those are bitter women.
Well,
And I'm
they're
gonna
men
tell you,
are bitter too.
I
Yup,
can
bitter.
see.
Can you
No,
say
no.
bitter?
I'm saying. Well, yeah, I would be. Listen, if you, I could tell you that if a woman is hurt holding the purse, and she got to give the man anything, it hurts her for that. I've seen some women. I've seen some women who the man is holding down the whole household financially,
Mm-hmm.
and she is generating the income and can save it, absolutely save every penny she has.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one time the man come to her and be like, "Hey, baby, I need a chunk of that you've been saving." She be calling bloody murder. Not my money. When this man has spent all his money, all this time, and all this stuff. See, women make that thing about money, but men ain't really doing that. Like it's like a team thing. Like this is like this our. I guess the reason why I got a consternation towards the child support is because you able to still benefit from that man when he ain't with you no more, because you
Mm-hmm.
got your hand in his pocket. But
Mm-hmm.
he get the benefit from you in no way of shape or form or whatever it was the value you was bringing to him. So that's why I say, if you want to put my your hand in my pocket while we ain't together, then I should have some entitlement to a warm body, a warm meal, you know what I mean? Or whatever, whenever I'm asking for it. Right? That's what, and I'm talking from the perspective of all the men that has been exploited in this way.
Mm-hmm.
And exploit, and I mean exploited, right? Because y'all are women are cold creatures when it comes to this. I know people like some of my brethren who they've been in a bad off situation where they ain't even making no income. Let's just imagine a dude who wants to pay child support, wants to contribute to his child's life, whatever. But he get pulled off the board for whatever reason. Let's say he get incarcerated for a minute, whatever, right? And then you think the woman gonna be like, oh, he ain't making no income, and he's already suffering because he's in a situation of incarceration. Let me turn this child support off on you. You think they do that?
What do they do?
let
Because
that let that thing toll up. You know what I mean? And they be like, it ain't my fault. You made those choices, like you said, choices. You made these choices that pulled you off the board. That's still your responsibility. Yeah, it's
wait,
still your
you're
responsibility.
saying
It happens to every
I
man
want
I
to
know in that situation.
I want to hear you in a way that you so that I understand you. So when something like incarceration happens, you're saying people don't give you grace.
No,
Okay, so let
no,
me ask you
no.
this.
Mhm.
What happens to your mortgage when you get incarcerated?
You lose it.
What happens to your car when you get
You
incarcerated?
lose it. You lose it.
So what the same level of accountability that you have to your mortgage, to your car.
No, it's not fair. Well,
No, no, no,
see
no,
that.
no, no. Don't run from this
That's not.
discussion. Because what you're asking for is the mortgage payment to say, you know what, you go ahead and do this temporary time, whatever that's going to be, and they're not going to waive your temporary time, right?
Dude, but let me ask you this: if you cannot pay
You
the
have to
mortgage,
answer just that
is it
question.
if you
Just
cannot
answer.
pay the mortgage, I'm glad you brought that up
I am.
because even in the mortgage and all that stuff, you get more forgiveness from the system than you do from a woman that you had a baby with. You
Give
get more forgiveness. Like
so
they
it
will
is
let you if
women you
if you if you if
there's
you tell the
women
people.
saying that. We've had this conversation about our re brethren who they don't just re-enter into halfway houses. Some of these people re-enter into $1 million, $500,000 homes. They got cars, clothes, no jobs, living on paper. So some of these people get to leave incarceration, and I heard from a very valuable source that they start pen paling these women leading months leading up to their departure so that they can have a warm place to land. So this is purposeful so that they when they get out, they have a good place to land. You're
That's
telling
why
me
that's what I'm trying to tell you. Women, y'all a cold creature. Y'all are, y'all are a cold creature. Because that logic right there don't make no kind of sense. Because even if that happens, that has to be like the 1% of the population could do that, could pull something like that off. That
mhm,
is definitely not the norm. The norm though is that these women are not letting that they stepping on a dude neck, even when a dude is down, they
mhm.
stepping on his neck, and they offer nothing. Let's just say if a dude is like, all right, I'll take that, it's my responsibility and all that, but shit, I'm getting out. Can I sleep on the couch? You can't get the dude. He owed child support to you. you'll lock him up for the child support payment, but you won't even let him lay his head down on your couch after that has happened.
Well,
You
okay,
know what I'm saying?
so
Is that fair?
there's a lot of things
Is
that
that
we
fair?
criminalize. It's not it's not fair. So I'm going to be empathetic because
Yeah.
I sense the males on this need a little bit of support. It makes me sad that we are treating each other and criminalizing behaviors in ways like if you're going to jail for child support, because how can you certainly pay your child support if you are incarcerated?
100% agree.
So we need to develop systems. But what we also need to do is be accountable for the type of women we choose. We need to make sure that our choices to have lay down and have babies by these women, then also you deal with the consequence of that, which includes taking care of them financially. Kids are not free. So you don't
So
just
let me ask you this
take
question.
care of children, not take
What
care
are
of them.
the principles of choice that a man what should a man look for?
Oh, I
You
have
know, if you guys are
it's
saying
not
that
just
the
looks.
thing weighs so heavily on the choice the man made, what should he look for
Well,
in a woman?
we've talked about this. We've talked about
What?
somebody who understands partnership, right? Because what
Hmm.
you're describing in them little
How do you know this though? When I so if I
wait,
see
wait.
you at
Let's
the grocery
evaluate
store,
how many of you become baby daddies.
no, how
Yes,
do I
we have
know
to
that
love
you
relationships.
value partnership?
Wait,
Teach me
so
how to
so
see this.
because well, we're talking about two different things. When we become long-term relationships, you're already doing that because you're doing the getting to know, you're establishing the relationship, you're looking at previous interactions. But many of you men and your brethren, and you could have been hard on your boy. I'm telling you, you had this, you could have been hard on your boy and been honest about this. Like
On what?
a lot of
On
y'all
what?
become baby daddies quick in the
Well,
interaction.
how could we
Two,
have changed?
three,
How could
okay? 2, 3 weeks into an interaction, I met this girl one time, and now we in love and we having babies. And then what y'all do is you try to create a life around that decision.
That's true. That's true. That not the
The
truth.
group
Not the truth
we
is
are done with the show for the day, ladies and gentlemen. We have gotten him to admit and take accountability. That is where we need to stop because that's the point I'm trying to make. And then don't be mad when you are finding them women who you then create a family with after these 24-hour encounters. Okay. Okay. And then you're stuck with a life because a life is a long time.
100%.
And so
I agree.
so then you can't say, oh, don't take me to child support for somebody who that was their sheer motivation. And particularly people who have any kind of economic differences in their relationships, whether it's, super rich or just, I got a job and you ain't got a job. So you have to be making decisions that are thoughtful and in alignment with what it would take to bring in a life, because that's what a kid is. It's a life. It's not something you just get to let go of. That's the level of accountability. I'm so proud of you today. And the group chat is proud of you today. And that's
I'm trying to get the group chat and all y'all ladies. If I'm giving the right description, that y'all can be accountable for something, right? Because
now there you go. This is
because making a life cost takes two, and it's really difficult to know.
24 hours notice. Like you don't even. Would you like an employee that gave you 24-hour notice?
Absolutely not.
So why then is it possible to create a life in?
Well, I go back to what David Chappelle says, which is, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, which is okay in this spectrality. If we give women unequivocally the ability to choose whether baby comes into this world, right? Then can the man also have the ability to choose whether he's involved or not involved in that?
I think you always have that choice. You
Not
always
if they,
have that,
not
but
if you getting the child support rung around your neck.
well, but the that's a
There is some states that do that though. I think
you got
what's the
excited.
place?
There is a
There's
place.
a state. There's
There's
a state. What's the state? Minnesota or something. One of them places.
one of the
They
places that
say,
everybody wants to live.
well, what they do is if the man doesn't want to have the baby, then all his rights, a woman can't go take them for child support, which I think that's fair.
So
Because
how would
you would choose.
you mean in 2026 if a man does not want to have a baby, you don't have
Mhm.
one? There's ways not to have it. So if you have a baby, then you want one. Can we agree? I'm sorry.
No, because you haven't heard these people that be going through the condom basters and doing this type of stuff.
I have, but it's still your responsibility. I went to a concert once. I was with a comedian. This is the truth. I went backstage with a comedian, very famous comedian. It was great. It was my birthday weekend. You know what that comedian did after we all got put out of his little area? That comedian picked up his own stuff, threw it all in trash to include the trash that was in there, and took it to on the bus with him. So, so that's accountable. That is accountable.
You see what you lowered a man down to have to be. He got to be his own trash collector. He got to take his trash with him. Hey, a man can't even.
I value that careful. I value that careful approach. And you know what I learned in that moment from a standard of accountability is that no matter how important you become, you are responsible for you. So that wonderful comedian was responsible for. So I am imploring you and your brethren, 24-hour notice is even good for a job. It's probably not good to create a life. I'm saving lives today. Thank you for all hanging out with us in Rose Garden. I made my brother speechless. This is always a delight. The group chat is happy with you now because we had some accountability. Now, I see him thinking, which is what my brother does. So I'm sure next time we're in the Rose Garden, this conversation will be even more colorful. I do pray that my schedule continues to be open at the 2 o'clock time on Thursday so I can be with you. If not, I will make sure to provide scripts for Bald Headed Brother and whatever man that he decides to put on the show. I am sure he will have a hard time keeping them accountable, but I'm with you, brothers. I'm with you, sisters, in the group chat. They need to be accountable, and we are still looking for ways to do our Battle of the Sexes. We love hanging out with you all every week. It is absolutely our delight to be in the Rose Garden with you, brother. I missed you. I'm so glad that you're doing well and you are safe. To our wonderful producer, I'm also glad that you're here and you're doing safe. And I think I actually helped to re-educate our producer today. So everybody on here got like some CE credit. Y'all are smarter than you were before you came on the show, and that's what we endeavor to do. You got anything else to say, brother, before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say to all the male consciousness out there, this last few minutes, behold. Behold this part of the gender, and notice how unforgiving, lack of grace and mercy, and outright cruelness we dealing with out here. Just be educated, brothers. Be smart. Be smart, and then protect yourself, man. What they say, we gotta be vigilant at all times. Just protect yourself at all times out here.
All right, if that's your final words, protect yourself at all times, and we'll see y'all next time in the Rose Garden.